Hey everyone, we'll be starting in a moment. Okay, close that. Close these. Connection seems to be good. Everything else seems to be okay. We can close this too. I think we're good to go. 1 second. All right. So, hi everyone. Welcome. Welcome to another stream. Hope everyone had a nice weekend. Today, we are continuing with the Great Ace Attorney. Last time we had left off, we had managed to do the trial part, at least the first part of the trial, with the Sham himself, Shammy Slim Slam Sham Spear, who we found out has been dodging paying for his gas by making it so then it thinks that it's being paid with money, but really the money is made out of ice or some other hard substance that melts. And he's been reusing that. However, we still don't understand why he was poisoned, or when, or by whom. My guess is that he poisoned himself, either accidentally or not. I don't know. But we shall see what we will learn today. I think we are about to be doing the second part of the investigation. So we're probably going to be able to go back to his flat or his apartment, see what it's like in there, get some more information. And, yeah, we're going to see what else we can learn from this. Hey, Raphatron, welcome. I will also be trying to see if I can put on the alt outfits for this, because I want to see them, and we're in the investigation part again, so it makes sort of sense. I will say, quickly before we start, I'm feeling a little bit off today. I mentioned before that I had vertigo and, nausea and all that kind of thing. My medication ran out the day before yesterday, and yesterday I was fine. Today, I have a lot of nausea, so there may be times where I'm like, I have to stop for a second to try and not be sick, I guess. It's not fun. And I also didn't get to sleep my full rest because of it. I had like 5 hours sleep, and then I woke up feeling like, oh, am I going to throw up? It's great. This is a great way to start the session, the first stream for this week, by talking about that. But yes, just letting you know if that's going to be the case. It might also be why I might sound off, I guess, or tired. But we shall see. Hopefully playing this game will distract me enough that I won't feel as bad. But yeah, we'll see what we can get up to. So without further ado, let us get into the game and begin. Socks being off mid. Yeah, it does. It's like, I was hoping that it was getting better, because it was. Like, I'm no longer, like, constantly in a dizzy spell before I took it. Then I took my medication, and then I've gotten to the point now where I can actually sort of sleep properly. But even so, this nausea is the part that's sticking around the most and sucks. Forgot to take my... Well, I just reminded you. There you go. I guess it's a good thing that I'm sick, so then you would know that. Remember to take your medication, Rapatron. Chronicles. Right, let me sure it's going up. Yep, showing on there. It needs a refresh on here. Yes. Alright, we're good. Any key. I don't have an any key. Now, I believe I need to go to special contents. Taylor. Iris's homemade outfit. Oh, man! Does he have a mouse on his shoulder? Susato Mikotoba. I really like her outfit. I'm gonna miss it for this part, but oh god. Yeah, okay. Chom's Japanese Jumble Mix. Oh god. Cultural appropriation. I guess it makes sense that he would have the fox mask. Sly. That kind of thing. Yeah, I think it's good. We'll have these on, see what goes on. I think that's it, so back and back. Alright, let us continue and see what happens. Stop playing from this saved game? Yes. Hopefully it just applies it. Ooh, for playing the game in all available outfits. Yes! Oh yeah, I forgot. The table's not gone for some reason. (22nd of February, 1:11 p.m. Naruhodo's Legal Consultancy. It's so weird seeing your arms. Susato. Like, I'm so used to not seeing any part of your body. Seeing your arms is like whiplash. Phew, made it back in one piece. Just. To be perfectly honest, I thought we were finished there for a while. Oh, I know. What a lot of close shaves. There's so many carriages on the streets of London. You're very nearly flattened several times. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. Yes, I know. It was a marvelous defense, Naruhodo-san. It really was. I was in awe of you. Oh, thank you. He's like all bashful. He's like, oh, thank you. But hey, Baloroth, welcome. And now that your fervent exploits have won us some more precious investigation time, let's see let's see if we can find some new clues for court tomorrow. Yes, let's do that. Is everything all right? I suppose. I still can't quite believe it. That's all. That I'm here in England working as a lawyer, I mean. In the Old Bailey, no less. It's been like a few weeks. You still feeling like that? Baloroth, I can't believe she's showing up her arms. So scandalous. The truth is, it shouldn't be me, should it? It should be him standing in my shoes. It should be Kazuma. It was Kazuma-sama's wish that you would follow him to Great Britain and work alongside him. Yeah, I mean, I never had the chance to ask him exactly why, but he clearly had a plan. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him. And you're doing wonderfully, Naruhodo-san. I have something to tell you. I love you, Naruhodo-san. Oh, okay. Well, I love working as a lawyer. He's just like so just missing the notes, so like even when it's obvious. I've no doubt that Kazuma-sama would say exactly the same if he were here with us. Thank you, Susato-san. Thank you. He also would love me. Although, no, it was here earlier, wasn't it? I remember we were started off here and there was nothing here. But maybe they just haven't gotten around to getting it yet. These tanks are for keeping sea creatures. They're called aquariums, and that they were all the rage in London at one time, apparently. Yes, the English are so clever, coming up with ideas, having ocean life on display in their home. Did we invent this? I thought this was just like a normal thing that was open like worldwide. And it means you always have an emergency midnight feast in your hand too. I'm not sure that's really the idea. Oh boy, a snack! Eats a lizard or something. I heard there's another room behind that door. Yes, it's my bedroom now, Hodo-san, as you well know. Shall I help you unpack your things? That's very kind, but no thank you. Your luggage looked very heavy. Are you sure I can't help you move it? That's very kind, but really, no thank you. I don't need you to see my unmentionables. A young man's private chamber is a place of bittersweet secrets, you know. Delegitimize the woman's bedroom. It's just the same as a man's bedroom. If you can come into a man's bedroom, you can go into a woman's bedroom just the same. The only secret I have is the 5 yen banknote hidden on the backside of my Daruma doll. Oh, really? It's mine now. Don't forget the shovel. Ah, yes, the shovel. Perhaps we should put the spade away somewhere. It's not a spade, Naruhodo-san. It's a shovel. No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade. I mean, if you think about it, if you do both for the same thing, then it could be both. It could be a shovel or spovel. No, spades are for digging, and that's for scooping up the loose material. It's a shovel. Well, it doesn't really matter, does it? He's just not arguing because he doesn't get thrown again. You're so right, Naruhodo-san. We mustn't quarrel over such trifles. We're not like Phoenix Wright and this Maya. On reflection, I think I'll leave the spade where it is. Yes, I think that's for the best. We may need a shovel when we're working in the garden. Do they even have a garden? I know they've got like a front, like... It's not really a porch, but... area where there's grass growing. But it's very small. Onions are still here. Right. Down into the pit. Or can I speak to you? Oh, I can. It was quite a shock earlier today, wasn't it? When the victim himself turned up in court and took the stand. I know. Not only that, but then finding out that he was actually a barefaced gas thief as well. Yes, that certainly was a surprise to us all. For a while, it seems as though everyone had quite forgotten about Saseki-san poisoning the tea. Careful of your phrasing, Susato-san. He didn't poison anything. And there's more to this Mr. Shamspear than we've yet to know. I'm sure of it. Mr. Shamspear certainly wasn't the noble, upstanding man everyone thought he was at first. What's become of him, actually? I was told that he'd be returning to the hospital ward where he was receiving treatment. Oh, which one is that? She just pulled that from nowhere. Because she hasn't got the sleeves, it just appears on her arm. Let me see. Ah, yes, he's at St. Bartholomew's. Or Bart, as Londoners would call it. What would have been cool is if they gave her unique animations because of the outfit. Like, instead of going into a sleeve, she pulls it out of the handbag, purse, whatever you call it, on her hip. That'd be cool. Let me see. Ah, yes, he's at St. Bartholomew's. Or Bart, as Londoners would call it. Iris has a small garden at the back? Okay, cool. Misato casually looks into the future to see their grandkids. We know that place, don't we? Yes, we visited Miss Green there yesterday. It's the same hospital to which she was taken. Everyone seems to be getting taken to this hospital. Yes, after Saseki-san stabbed her in the back. Do be careful with your phrasing, Naruhodo-san. He didn't stab anyone. Perhaps we both owe Saseki-san an apology. St. Bartholomew's. Yes, we should probably visit the hospital later. So, we know that Saseki-san took tea to the victims on the night in question. But as he isn't the culprit, then obviously... Yes, the poison surely wasn't in the tea. But if that's the case, how on earth did the poison get into Mr. Shamspear's body? I'm sure we'll find a clue on the scene. And there must be something in Mr. Shamspear's room that will help solve the mystery. Well, naturally Scotland Yard detectives have been over the place already. But it couldn't hurt for us to have another look around, I think. Definitely. And I'm desperate to know the outcome of the investigation into the tea left in the bar of soap. Well, if we run into Inspector Gregson, we can ask him about that. Check the bottle and check the blackboard too. Got it. Kazuma Asogi, the best friend I ever had, and a lawyer with such promise. He really saved my bacon in that horrible incident just before we left Japan. These guys never shut up about him. I mean, yeah, he was a good guy, but... Come on. Talking about him this much might bring him back from the dead. I can still picture him now, looking so fierce and determined in court. And then after the trial, the crazy idea he came up with. As a stowaway? Yes, you can fit inside my trunk if you curl up small enough, I'm sure. No one will know. Kazuma, won't you tell me why? Why go to these lengths so that I can accompany you to Great Britain? Well, it's only been on my mind ever since we've got through that trial. That you really ought to go into law, be a defense lawyer. You've got a natural talent for it. Believe me, I guarantee it. But I never even thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, I can't force you, obviously. You'll have to decide for yourself. But anyway, London is the cultural capital of the world, the city at the forefront of everything. It can't hurt for you to see it with your own eyes. Oh, that was him saying it. Whoops. No, that's not true. Well, no, that's true. I suppose, though, if you were to become a lawyer, and then one day, we could get married. One day what? Oh, no, never mind. Oh. Naruhodo-san? Oh, sorry, I was just thinking about Kazuma. Yes, he's forever in my thoughts, too. To change the Japanese judicial system for the better. That was his dream. And that's why he so desperately wanted to come to Great Britain to study, of course. Yeah, that's right, but... Yes? I do wonder if his true intentions lay elsewhere sometimes. I don't know. The thought of just takes hold of me every now and then, that's all. His true intentions were to open a bakery. Naruhodo-san, what do you mean by Nakazuma-sama's true intentions? Oh, that was an awkward way of bringing up that sword, but sure. I mean this. His katana? I never expected to inherit the sword after Kazuma passed away, of course. No, I know. It was because I asked you to take it. When I have it at my side in court, I feel as though it gives me courage. Yes. Actually, the night before he died, he told me a little about the sword. It was forged by 100,000 blacksmiths on the day of the solstice, and made from a metal that no man knew. Karuma. That's right. It's a prize sword that has been passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. A Japanese man's sword is his soul, Yunosuke. I can't be parted from my katana. Karuma guides me. I truly believe that. Why did I think it was a gun? I don't know. Why did you think it was a gun? Do you want a gun? So its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two. Not that you would need much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain. Something you have to do? Yes. I appreciate you seeing it through with me. Oh, of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. Even if it's murder. I knew you wouldn't let me down. What do you mean by something very important to that I have to do? I had hoped the answer to that question would become apparent when we arrived here, but as yet, I have not found a single clue. I see. Well, maybe I should present you some stuff. You've been wearing that ever since we arrived in Great Britain, haven't you? Well, it's what shows that I'm a lawyer, so it seems appropriate. I'm not sure that it really means much in this country, though, I'm afraid. I wouldn't say that. It might not be official, but it looks official. Often when the police stop me, I just show them this and they leave me alone. You're stopped by the police? Often? Well, you know, I'm a suspicious foreigner, dressed all in black with a sword at my side. I was thinking that, actually. I was like, how come he's allowed... Because he's brought the sword, how is he allowed to just walk around with that? No one else is. I do think it's probably the sword that's the main reason. Still, it makes me happy to see you're wearing it. And the armband. Yeah, I made my mind up and I'll carry them always. This symbol of who I am, and the sword, Kuruma. 3 razor-sharp ways to do their work pulls a gun, the one weapon without sharp edges. I mean, the bullet's kind of sharp. Not really, but... Susanna-san, what do you make of this? Oh dear. What indeed? Let me see. If you don't know, really, it's fine to say so. I won't hold it against you. Same as the other one. Whee! What about the soap? You want to eat some soap? Susanna-san, what do you make of this? Ah, yes, the soap that we found on the ledge outside the Mr. Shamspeare's blocked-up window. Since we discovered him poisoned, I've been scared to wash my hands. I keep thinking the foul soap is going to be the end of me. Well, the soaphead's bad name was cleared in the end, wasn't it? I suppose so. But I'm still worried about it. I think it would be safer just to never wash my hands again. I think you haven't thought that through. You will wash your hands now, Naruto-san. You will, or I will end you. Nothing about the picture. Nothing about the medical report. I just noticed, but are the petals in her hat, like, lit up? Unless you put coins in this meter, of course, it won't give you any gas. The British have some really chilling intentions, or inventions, don't they? Sorry? Well, you could die on a cold winter's night if you weren't able to light your stove. I suppose, in a way, one little coin could be the difference between life and death. Personally, I'd break the meter and find a way to light the stove somehow. And then you get arrested for breaking the law. Oh no, the meter might explode if you were able to tamper with it, Mr. Naruto. Or Naruto-san. The gas companies have it all buttoned up, don't they? They are glowing? Okay. Right, down we go! Into the Shome Suite. Oh, Runo and Susie! Hooray, you're back! Hello, Iris. You're in fine spirits as always, I see. I am, and you look at this immaculately presented as ever, Susie. Oh, you flatter me. Is it because she's wearing the new outfit? Or is that just normal? Well, you couldn't have come at a better time. I've just made a pot of tea. I'll set some cups. Really? Thanks, Iris. That's not you saying that. It's me. Really? Thanks, Iris. But actually... What is that foul smell? Oh! Aha! The Wanderer returns at last! Where on earth have the pair of you been? We've been in court? Oh, for Mr. Mustache's case? That was the day, was it? I'm sure I mentioned it only yesterday, Mr. Sholmes. I'm sure you think you did. Well, we can laugh about it now. So tell me, how did the trial go? Reasonably well so far. We've managed to escape without a guilty verdict, at least. Really? I would have liked to see it. And I must pass the time of day with Mr. Reaper again. It's been too long. Is Lord Van Zeeks an acquaintance, Mr. Sholmes? And naturally. There's not a person in the world who doesn't know my name is Naruto. Not quite what I asked, but still. Mr. Sholmes, whatever is that odor? Yes, what is it? It's faint, but absolutely awful. Ah, indeed. That's the scent of victory, my dear fellows. Victory is science. Or in science. Oh dear. Alright, I'll bite. What's he up to now? Time to look at the blackboard. Immediately. Oh wow, it's the first time I've actually seen her on the typewriter. Ah yes, this is where you note down ideas, isn't it, Iris? So what's on the blackboard today? Buck up Runo? What is this? Oh, I'm just playing around with ideas for the title of the next month's installment. Another idea I had was the Beryl Coronet. I'm really torn about which one to use. What do you think, Runo? Anything but Buck up Runos, obviously. I suppose you're right. I'll tell you what, I'll surprise you with it. You'll have to wait until next month and see. Ugh, so many sleepless nights. Iris? That's incredible concentration, that is. I find it quite remarkable how she can focus on many different things at once. Perhaps I should try drinking more herbal tea? The blend third from the right should be good for you, Runo. Oh, Iris? This girl is destined for great things, I'm sure. There's a charming little white shelf, full of charming little bottles too. Oh yes, but don't touch any of those. They might explode. A charming shelf full of charming bottles full of charring ingredients. You know, Hurley's mistakenly drank one of them the other day. What? And how? I think he was lucky, though. He hasn't exploded yet. Chemistry can be very hazardous occupations. It's living with Mr. Sholmes at the hazardous occupation, if you ask me. I think I've already listened to that. Time to converse with you. Lord Barak von Zeeks. Yes, he's an interesting sobriquet, isn't he? Or sobriquet he has, isn't it? The Reaper of the Bailey. Once the legendary prosecutor had fought for someone's conviction, that person is doomed. Even if he or she is found not guilty by the courts. Sooner or later, the hapless soul will vanish from the capital. But vanish how exactly? By falling under the passing carriage, or drowning in the Thames. Or succumbing to a Hassan fever, or quite out of the blue, being set upon by a highwayman. And there are numerous routes to one's final terminus, my dear fellow. It all seems a little far-fetched, really. Well, on the bright side, Mr. Moustache is fighting fit, for the time being at least. That's not overly reassuring. If the rumors are true, though, the obvious conclusion would surely be that those acquitted are, well, by Lord Van Zeek's own hand. As it happens, Mr. Zato, this is quite possible. Oh? Why? Or impossible. And naturally, the man very quickly became under such suspicion. However, whenever the incidents occurred, the Reaper had always a cast iron alibi. Really? And so his reign continued, but 5 years ago, he vanished from the courts, never to appear as a prosecutor again. And that is until you arrived in the country, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, so I've heard. In fact, it was the very day I arrived when I was thrust into that trial at the Old Bailey. That bitter fight to the death coincided with the Reaper's resurrection, and really did end bitterly indeed. And here you are, facing Mr. Reaper again. Poor Runo. I don't know if you're just incredibly unlucky, or incredibly unlikable. You like me though, don't you? I think it goes deeper than just me. I sense general loathing of all Japanese people. Japanese people is one of the options. You could just put racism. So, what is that indescribable foul smell? Ah, well, most probably this, I would say. What is that? My dear fellow, it is of course my latest invention. A chemical test that can identify whether or not a tea is a genuine at the drop of some tea. Oh my. Oh. I had trouble swallowing for a second then. Alright, 1 second. Sorry about that. Ugh. Right. There are some unscrupulous sorts manning the hot stalls along some of London's less frequented streets. They regularly sell what purports to be a quite quality tea, but is in fact merely dyed tea leaves of drab flavour. Well, that's certainly unsavoury behaviour. So, when one is presented with what appears to be black tea, one must be careful. Iris! At the ready, Hurley. Let us add a drop of my chemical to this cup of tea here. Do you see what happens? It turns black. It turned completely black. And what a foul odour it's giving off. Indeed, the blacker the tea becomes, the more foul the odour, and the better the tea is. It would appear that this cup was a particularly fine Darjeeling. That's very ingenious, but what do you have to do with that black liquid now? Why, dispose of it, naturally. Surely you wouldn't like to drink it, would you? There does seem to be a rather obvious problem with your new invention, Mr. Sholmes. Hence why this chemical test is merely a test, my dear madam. Right. The point is, we are entering a new era of science, in the world of criminal investigation also. Yes, forensic science. Oh, these are such exciting times. I regularly engage in this scientific experimentation alongside my official consulting detective work. The Sherlock-Holmes method will be the foundation upon which modern investigative techniques is based. This little tea indicant was a happy byproduct of my ongoing forensic science research. Forensic science? I suppose we should find out more about that. Woo! But first, let me ask about these Japanese. With Mr. Natsume, who I'm currently defending being Japanese as well as Mr. Sado-san and myself, I felt it even more keenly in court today. For some reason, Lord Van Zeek seems to have inherent disdain for the Japanese. Indeed. It is an interesting observation. Do you know something about it? Do you, Mr. Sholmes? It was about 10 years ago that Baroque Van Zeek chose to enter the legal profession. However, before that time, the young man's closest companion hailed from the Empire of Japan. No. What the... Tell us more, Mr. Sholmes. What happened? I believe I made it clear before. I'm unable to tell you anything about the affair. Oh, but... The veil will be lifted on the events of the past in due course. I have no doubt. Also, it's a bit too early to reveal the big twist of the game. For now, however, it is Mr. Mustache who is the most deserving of your attention, I believe. So, your T-test, is that an example of forensic science? Indeed it is! An essential tool in cases that hinge on the knowledge of whether some tea is of high or inferior quality. Not a huge number of cases, then. Perhaps a more practical example is required. Fingerprints? Not yet accepted in our courts as evidence, I might add. Really, we are dragging our heels here. I hadn't even heard of them until recently. Which is partly why I undertake research in this field myself, of course. Does that mean you're studying fingerprints, Mr. Sholmes? There are others in the field already, and I abhor the company of inferior minds. Ooh. Mr. Genius. No, what I'm researching is skin prints. Skin prints? A nomenclature of my own design, as is this chemical agent that makes it possible. It instantly reveals objects touched by whichever person is under investigation. Brilliant, Mr. Sholmes. As long as it doesn't turn everything completely odorous and black. I assure you, my dear fellows, you will witness my forensic talents in action very soon indeed. Well, I think we should go back to the scene and see if we can kind of uncover any new clues. That's the spirit, Runo. See you later. Yes, until later. They're doing the same pose. I only just realized that now. Like, they do the same thing. I knew that she was, like, copying him, but I didn't know it's kind of just the same. No, Mr. Sholmes, we were thinking of you'd come with us. You were? Well, yes, of course. You said you just saw a moment ago. You said we witnessed your forensic talents in action. Ah, yes, I do recall something along those lines. But you go on ahead. I shall be sure to follow you later, in all likelihood. Probably. Maybe. Well, I might. Your commitment astounds me. Oh, thank you, Mr. Sholmes. We'll eagerly await your arrival. Bye-bye, Runo. Bye, Susie. Oh, it was taking a while to get back to this menu. Right. To the hospital room, I guess. Mousy. 22nd of February. St. Bartholomew's Hospital. Recovery ward. What do you suppose is happening? It sounds like some sort of disturbance. Yeah, I hear angry voices. Be not angry, O ample lady. Verily thou art mistaken. Mistaken my foot. You were looking at my painting. The eye of a man hath not heard. The ear of a man hath not seen. 'Twas foul indeed, the poison that mustached villain gaveth me. Forgive me, lady. I wish that you died from that poison. God of mercy, an ample lady, but thou seest I have vigour still. Behold my Sham-spear dance. What is he doing? Oh my god. This looks rather ominous, doesn't it? Oh my god. You said it before she said it. Rafatron, you played this before. Ah, lo, 'tis the lawyer from the land whence riseth the sun. How now? What are you doing here, Mr. Sham-spear? Mary, I do believe I am returned unto another ward. He was looking, that's what he was doing, looking at my terrible work. Eastern fellow, so dark ye clad. Faith, thy work in court this morning was wonderful. I do applaud thee. Oh, well, thank you. But that doesn't mean things will go so wonderfully for you tomorrow, does it? He's not doing Shakespeare anymore. He can't just... Okay. Anon, exunt. Mr. Sham-spear might technically be the victim in this case. But there's definitely a lot more to it than that. It's very hard to pin the man down. I'm so sorry. I was such an awful person. Miss Green, is everything all right? Oh, yeah, I mean, don't worry about me. They're about to discharge me, so I must get ready to leave now. Weren't you getting ready to leave last time? Oh, I see. We're delighted that you'll soon be well enough to go home, Mr. Green. Oh dear, you're too kind. I don't deserve it. Saseki pinned him down. Alright. Examine the bottle. I do not see a bottle. I'll see. So it might not be this room. So, are you feeling more like yourself today, Miss Green? I am, thank you. I mean, people do recover from ordeals like this, don't they? Even people like me. Well, yes, it really was an ordeal, wasn't it? As far as I was concerned, I was just walking along in the snow one evening, minding my own business. And then, completely out of the blue, I was struck in the back by a knife and collapsed, unconscious for days. Of course, when I finally woke up again yesterday, the whole business had been cleared up already. What a terrible week it's been for you. Oh, no, I'm sure I'm very lucky, really. I'll look back on this fondly. Really? Anyway, must be getting my things together now, so I'm ready to discharge. Oh, yes, of course. Sorry to take up your time when you're obviously busy. Well, it must be later then. Well, time to leave. Mr. Shamspeare's room. Oh, hello again, Inspector Gregson. What are you doing here? Well, we were hoping to have another look around, actually. The lawyer representing the defendant has a right to examine the scene, as I'm sure you're aware. Yeah, I know the score. Oh, yes, one more other thing. The soap on the ledge outside the window. Did you find it? With the tea in it? Yeah, we found it all right. And there was a small amount of tea in it, as you said. I knew it. It's with the identification of the skirt section at the yard now, and they're looking into it. Results should be available later today. Oh, that's wonderful news. Thank you. A pretty impressive performance in court this morning. Sorry? Oh, nothing. Forget it. I'll just make sure you don't disturb anything in here. I'm not forming a respectful bond for you. Shut up. Let me eat my chips. Oh, hi there. So it turns out that Mr. Shamspeare wasn't eating the soap at all. Well, that's right. The mystery of why he had it on the plate whilst holding a hot fork in his hand is solved. Yes, to prise his latest ice coin out of its mould. And in the process, he had accidentally broke the bar of soap in two. It certainly was hard to imagine, let alone deduce. The sun never shines in this room thanks to that depressing bricked-up window. All bricked up. One second. Stupid nausea. Go away. I did say I was going to be pausing every now and then to try and fight back this stupid nausea. I wish I had medication for it. Ugh. Right. The sun never shines in this room thanks to the depressing bricked-up window. Yet with enough determination, you can always remove the bricks to set some soap outside, can't you? It sounds like a very wise life lesson, Mr. Zato. Only if you plan to follow a life of crime, Mr. Naruhodo. If you ran out of change, you wouldn't even have any light, let alone heat. For the needy. London winters can be very harsh. That's true, but if you think about it, even the wealthy would find themselves freezing if they ran out of small change. London winters can be very harsh for the forgetful too, then. Frankly, I'm starting to wonder if Susato-san and I are going to make it to spring. That's true, we don't have a meter back at Baker Street, let alone a gas stove. Look at how dark the floor is underneath the meter there. Oh, I heard the wrong voice. Yes, from all the water dripping out from the ice coins melted as you established in court this morning. It's a very large and obvious stain, isn't it? Mr. Shakespeare must have used an awful lot of ice coins, I suppose. It was an ingenious idea, I'll give him that. Are you looking for new clues, Inspector? On Lord Van Zeek's order, yeah. Don't come back till you've got something for me, he says. Oh dear, poor you. Yeah, poor me, because we've already searched every bleeding nook and cranny in this place. I don't know what he expects me to be honest. Thank goodness for warm chits is all I can say. Well, at least he's honest. This is some sort of makeshift stage, I think, isn't it? Where does the audience sit, though, for the nightly Shakespeare performances? Actors aspiring to the great stage must practice their art, Mr. Naruhodo-san, with or without an audience. And in fact, on a related note, perhaps you should set up a box bench for your defense in your office. What? And then you could practice your art every single day. I'll think about it if you promise to don a beard and play the role of the judge. Well, if that would help you achieve your goal, this I have to see. I'm imagining, like, Susato putting on a beard, putting on, like, the judge's outfit, gets a gavel, and she's, like, she's doing a deep voice to try and sound like a guy. It's like, so, I can't do a female voice that's pretending to be deep. And so, especially when sick, I can't do it. Mr. Scholes, what are you up to over there? What a question indeed! Was it not your good self who asked me to attend the scene? Oi! What are you doing over there, Sholmes? I was defaulting to sunshine there. What are you up to over there? What are you doing here? Dear me, once a great detective, one is always under the scrutiny, it seems. Is now the time, Mr. Sholmes? Are you about to show us your forensic talents in action as you promised? With the greatest of pleasure, my dear madam. Oh, he actually uses it like goggles. What's all this? Oh, they spin. All this is precisely what you requested, Mr. Naruhodo. He has a gun. Holok Sholmes' sensational skin print seeker gun. Moments ago, I took a sample from the teacup that was used by the victim. A sample from Mr. Shakespeare's cup? Each individual leaves microscopic secretions on everything he or she touches. A sample of this secretion is all I need to produce this, a refined indicator solution. By liberally spraying the area with this chemical, everything the victim touched is instantly revealed with the aid of these goggles. Here, try them on. Everything's blue. There, now spray the chemical indicator about and all will be revealed. This is exactly like it was with Emma. Spray? How do How do I do that exactly? A little press of space on the area you're interested in is all that's required. Like this. You were up there. How did you get over here? What is this stuff? It's like fog. A suspension of the chemical indicator is pressurized gas. It's the most efficient way to cover a large area. That's another invention I discovered incidentally while I developed this idea. As you do. Go ahead, try it, my dear fellow. We shall learn something interesting about the victim's movements on the night in question. Well, there's nothing to lose, I suppose. Let's explore. That's a lot of handprints. Whoa! Look, there are a dozen of handprints here. So there are, a great many indeed, so much so that it makes it hard to make out of any one individual print, in fact. Ugh, it sends a chill down my spine. Perhaps he was leaning against the wall while he admired the picture? Unlikely, I would say. It's rather a dull scene, after all. And without the wishing to state the obvious, you wouldn't generally admire a picture from such close quarters, I feel. Oh, very true, Mr. Sato. There's a bit of mystery, then. Move the picture. There's not much else to click on. Am I missing something, or was that it? I can't get out of this, so there must be something else. Already did this. Yeah, I can't really... I'm clicking everything. I wish I could spray when I'm moving it. Oh, finally! It was in this one little spot that I missed. Oh, look at all this here. Ah, yes. Interesting. A multitude of the victim's handprints. Why are there so many of them on the floor in this one spot? Ooh, perhaps he had a bad fall just here. There's nothing obvious that would have tripped over, though, is there? I wonder. Personally, I often stumble when there's nothing obvious to trip over. I think that's something only a great detective would do, Mr. Sholmes. Well, this is quite a puzzle. Handprints all over the floor. Yes, there's no obvious explanation. Well, we sprayed Mr. Sholmes' amazing skin print indicator all over the room, didn't we? We did, but there are two places in particular that are of interest, I would say. The handprints on the floor there. And on the wall by the picture, you mean? Yes, and I think the floor warrants closer investigation. I won't be a moment. She like just rips up the entire floor. She's hands on knees! What is it, Mr. Zato? Look here, Mr. Naruhodo. One of the floorboards has popped out. One of the... You mean... It's a secret hiding place? Excellent work, Mr. Sato. So, what do we have in here? Oi! What are you lot doing there? Inspector Gregson. Stand aside right this minute. It's my job to investigate over there. Or Revistisky. No need, Inspector. You'll continue digging your portion of chips whilst we dig around under the floor here. Your fancy top put me on the food anyway, Sholmes. A new bit of evidence is exactly what I need. Wow, a secret hiding place under the floor. What a find. It's not a hiding place you'd usually make use of in Japan. I don't think I could lift a straw to Tommy that. Oh, no, I know, but I never expected one of these wooden floorboards to move either. It's got me wondering about the wall over there too. Aren't you curious? Oh. I'll investigate it once. Just to stand on the box. And there's nothing behind the picture, sadly. Only the wall. How disappointing. Maybe the entire wall rotates or something. But then how do you explain the handprints? That's not you, that's me. I really can't think of why anyone would have been touched the wall over there in the one place like that. My eyes! And there you are, a print for you. Photographic print of the handprints on the wall has been added to the court record. Oh, thank you very much. His invention can make prints too? Now then, I wonder if Inspector Gregson has found anything under the floor there. Nothing immediately stands out to me other than the fact that there's handprints everywhere all over this place. I wonder if Inspector Gregson has found anything under the floor there. I'm desperate to know. So am I. I'll have to examine it, does I? Do I? Does I? Does I's not proper English? I'd love to know if there's anything hidden underneath that floorboard there. Allow me to ask Gregson now. After all, we're well acquainted. Inspector Gregson, really, it's been too long. What is it, Sholmes? I thought perhaps you might show me what you found there. Seeing as we're such good friends. We're not friends. No, I suppose not. A dismal failure. Yes, I heard. Ugh, I'd kill to know what was under that floorboard. All right then, fair's fair. What? You did discover the hiding place after all. I suppose I should at least fill you in. Really, Inspector? Thank you. Do it quickly, my dear fellow. If there's one thing I'd know about this man, it's that he blows with the wind as fickle as the weather. Oi, stop making fun of me, some kind of nut! There were 3 items on the floor here, and a newspaper clipping, a photographic print, and a tin box. Now, what do you want to know, Sunshine? Looks like this was cut out of a newspaper about 3 months ago. It's about a convict who got sick and died while he was serving time up in Manchester. Manchester mention? Woo! I guessed. How terrible. It made the headlines down here in London as well. Well, the bloke had been sentenced to death, you see, but nature got him first. Oh my goodness. He committed a capital offence? Man by the name of Selden. Nasty piece of work into the burglaries and murder. They said the hoard he'd knocked over was worth about £1,000. A hoard? Of treasure, you mean? Jewelry and the like, but he'd hidden it somewhere, and no one knows where. And now he's dead. The papers loved it, of course. £1,000 lost en route to hell, or something like such was the headline. Doesn't it not strike you, though? Why such an article would be so carefully ensconced under the floor? Because they were brothers, or maybe they were acquainted in some way. I suppose now you mention it, it does seem a bit odd. Perhaps I'll go over the paperwork once we've got Sheldon now back in the yard and see if I can get up anything. Oh, excuse me. I don't know if you heard that, but excuse me. Let's have a little closer look at this. Manchester Strangeways Prison announced the death of convicted murder burglar Selden by natural causes in the early hour this morning. He'd been suffering with a fever since the end of October. Alerted by the shouts of his fellow cellmate, medical staff arrived to find him already dead before his capital punishment could be carried out. Oh. So, this is the photographic print I found. Looks reasonably recent to me. Oh hey, it's the guy again. Yes, it would appear that we've been taken on the street in front of the house here. And the gentleman on the left is Mr. Garrideb, the landlord, of course. But who's the young man on the right? Mr. Garrideb's son, perhaps? Perhaps. You can take the print if you like. Really? Are you sure? We can presume, therefore, that the yard already knows. The identity of the young fellow, that is. Is that true? Well, it's too bad if we do. Unfortunately for you lot, leaking information isn't one of my pastimes. My dear Inspector, if I may be so bold as to point something out. Pastimes are for one's leisure, but this is for work. All the more reason I'm not telling you. A dismal failure. Yes, I heard. Hidden photograph has been added to the court record. Curiouser and curiouser. I wonder why a photograph like this was hidden under the floor. I mean, Mr. Shakespeare himself isn't in it. Or is he? Photographic prints are still a rare treasure in the East End. I imagine Mr. Garrideb was rather delighted to have been immortalised. He probably made a proud present of it. Well, this tiny box looks interesting. Oh. Doesn't it? Does that say K-cut on it? It looks like a K-A-E-E-R. Kia. Might I suggest, Inspector, that you open it? If you were to find something inside that reveals the truth behind this case, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised. Yeah, funnily enough, I've already had a look. It's completely empty. Oh, what? Shakespeare, give us a clue, man! You didn't even have the chance to utter a word, Mr. Naruhodo. But anyway, at least we found out what's inside the box. Yes, thin air, it's empty. Rather like how I feel inside. Aww. Is there nothing more to this box then? I wonder. It's got a false bottom. Hey, it's the cat. Oh, look. It's that lovely little kitty cat. What was its name again? It's Mr. Natsume's, isn't it? I don't think we've ever asked him, actually. Why don't we call it, Wagahai? You know, like Mr. Natsume refers himself in Japanese. I wonder how he got in here. Clever cat. Oh, wonderful. Well then, Wagahai, was there something delicious I brought for you from the cat's meat menu, man? Meow. I don't need to make the noise, but it's there. Num num num. So happy! So happy! Pet the cat! Aww. They did a good job introducing the cat. You couldn't be happier. Now look. I just hope he can bring some happiness to his owner too. The cat is an important clue. It's needing... So happy. Oh, I yawned and I went dizzy for a second. I want to pet the cat. That was a cheeky little meow, Wagahai. Oh, but he's so adorable. I could sit and watch him forever. I think he may not appreciate that after a while. And we have an investigation to get back to. Well, there's nothing new, so... Did the box get added to the court record or not? It did not. Well... I guess we can go to Briar Road. 22nd of February. Briar Road. Oh, for a minute then I thought the wheel was fixed. Snowman's still here. Still snowy. Bar soap is still there. What is this little, like, porthole for? Gary Deb's room! Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb's room. Mr. Garrideb appears to be out. Oh well, I suppose we'll just have to come back again later. Away with us. Ow! Local prison. Cell 9. Oh, Mr. Natsume is back. So he is. Mr. Natsume, hello! I am a cat. Sorry? I don't know who Mr. Natsume is or Herlock Sholmes. I don't know about courts or trials or Old Baileys. I am a cat, and that's what I am. Just a cat. Mr. Naruhodo, he's trying to escape from reality. Trying to? He already has. Completely. So, what is your name then? As yet I have no name. Mr. Naruhodo, he hasn't fully thought of his new identity out yet. Maybe it's not too late to bring him back to reality. Do you think you could open your eyes for us, Mr. Natsume? I am not a cat. It worked. He's back in the real world. What's going to become of me? No! Don't answer that! It's obvious! My accursed soul is never going to escape this accursed fate! Mr. Natsume, no. This morning's proceedings in court prove that there's hope. Yes, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire was brilliant, but... The Reaper of Omnipresent, in court in my lodgings! Here, there, everywhere! What's he looking straight at me for? I think perhaps there are some things we should discuss. Oh, yes. Yes, we must. I am a rock. This morning's trial. In my whole life, I have ever been so moved as I was today. No. So, of course, if I cast my mind back, there were perhaps 1 or 2 occasions. That would be more. But if I just brought those out, then today, being in that courtroom was... It was the most moving experience of my life. Locum student Mr. Narrowhead Esquire. You're too kind. Natsume's voice is very... It's one of the more expressive ones that I have to do that I don't know if I can do fully today. Scotland Yard found the remaining tea just as we deduced, and are analysing it as we speak. There's nothing wrong with that tea. They won't find a drop of that poison in it. That's a solemn sworn Suzeki certainty. Tell me, did you both drink the tea at the same time that night? Oh, yes, most definitely. Remember, drink tea while it's hot. We both poured it down our throats like it was a hot bath for our bellies. And at the time, you were completely fine, as shown by the fact that he and Mr. Shakespeare are engaged in Romeo and Juliet match. I suppose the focus of tomorrow's proceedings will be how the poison was taken by the victim then. One second. Ugh. Okay. Mr. Shakespeare. That rotten Shakespeare! What have I ever done to him? You don't recall him taking issue with you over anything you've done recently? I've been old, I'm in my room, immersed in books. I don't recall anything. Anything at all. Right. But what I don't understand is why he didn't let me know sooner. But you know what, Mr. Natsume? About the soap, of course. What else? Oh dear. Are you struggling with such a meager stipend? Of course I am. If I had money, I would have chosen to live an accursed existence in accursed lodgings. Oh, yes, you said it's because the place is cursed that it's so cheap, didn't you? Exactly. Especially the room that I rent. The spirit of that capital offender who lived there still haunts the place. And it's trying to kill me. A capital offender? Might I ask locum student Mr. Narrowhead Esquire, the next time you visit me, you bring scores of super soft soaps. Okay. Mr. Natsume, it's nothing much, but... it's been too long since I've been offered a present with that delightfully humble etiquette of our homeland. What? You're too kind. I accept it gladly. Sorry, but I wasn't trying to gift it to you, actually. Mr. Natsume, what do you know about this? There it is! That lathery lowlife that took my neighbor's lives and sent me sliding into the depths of despair. Slippery, sickly, psychotic saboteur. You've really gone off soap, haven't you? Absolutely, and I've made up my mind. The next time someone gives me soap as a present, it's... friendship finished, firmly, forever. Friendship ended with soap. Now dirt is my friend. I don't know that we can blame soap for everything that's happened, Mr. Natsume. What do you know about this machine? Nothing. What do you know about this picture? You know nothing. Oh, what's this? It's a newspaper cutting that we found in Mr. Shanspeare's room. So he knew, did he? Sorry? About this man, Selden. A convicted killer, and the evil spirit behind the curse that afflicts my lodgings. What? He's already taken to one of some young man's life, and now he's trying to take the life of another. A miserable maligned Japanese man. Mr. Natsume, if you know something, please, you must tell us. Tell us everything you can about this evil spirit. Woo! Well, the truth is, I didn't know the details myself until very recently. That Selden man was arrested about a year ago now, and at the same time he was hiding in a lodgings at Mr. Garadeb's house. What? He lived... Where do you do now? How does that make sense? One second. Again. Whoa, dizzy, whoa. Calm down. Why is everything happening at Garadeb's estate? Like, seriously, you've had a murderer that stayed there that ended up dying, or thief. You've had 2 cases of people almost dying. What else is there? You've got the secret treasure buried underneath the floorboards. Oh, that's right, yes, exactly where I live now. In my very room. Oh my, your room was previously occupied by a criminal found guilty of capital offence. But before his sentence could be carried out, he died in prison. That was 3 months ago now. And that's when it started. The curse. What really is this curse you keep mentioning, Mr. Natsume? It already caused 1 death, a few months after the criminal passed away in prison. A man had died in the room. The man who rented it after Selden, in fact. The poor lodger. He was found dead in mysterious circumstances. The room was locked from the inside. What is with this game's fascination with locked room mysteries? Locked from the inside? Exactly like the case we're dealing with now. So, that's the convict's curse, is it? Yes. Well, that was the start of it. Hey, Swordmaster, welcome. Only here for a short while? That's fine. Welcome. Do you have any ideas how the lodger you passed before you passed away, Mr. Natsume? The official cause of death was asphyxia. When they discovered the body, the room was full of gas. Gas? I only found that out after I signed the lease. When Mr. Garrido came to tell me later, I couldn't stop myself from trembling. In fact, if I'd known beforehand, I'd probably have been too scared to take the room. Landlord's lease luckily legal. Lucky for Mr. Garrido, maybe, but not so lucky for poor Mr. Natsume. Oh my god. Stop. I'm in the middle of stream, God. Let me do this. I'm starting to think maybe I shouldn't have streamed. And now you believe this curse is affecting you. It is. At first, I just felt as though I'd been watched. All the time. And you talked about having nightmares, didn't you? The dead trying to take me with them. They come for me and try to suffocate me. Just when I'm struggling to breathe, I wake up. And the room is as cold as ice. But why is your room so cold? London winters are too cold to bear without any heating on overnight. But for some reason, even though I light the stove before I climb into bed at night, the pilot light always goes out and the room fills with gas. But that's terrible. Rest tomorrow, I might do. I am calling my GP tomorrow to see if I can get a cold that day. And seeing if I can get my medication again that day or Thursday. Because this is not fun. I may take tomorrow off. I may. It will depend on how I'm feeling. That's exactly the same situation as to what led to the previous occupant's death. And then there's what happened to Mr. Shamspeare last night when he was mysteriously poisoned. There's clearly more to that incident that can be explained by a curse, though. Whatever can be the cause of all these strange happenings in Mr. Garadev's rooms? Who knows? Do you know this man? You don't know this man. You're no help to me. Alright, well, time to leave. I guess to the hospital? Is it going to be a thing where I need to look at the picture first? No. Okay, nothing new here. Maybe I just present it? I cannot present. Maybe the suite? Nope. Time to leave and go back to the Shamspeare room. Maybe he's back now? Just realizing people are feeling unwell recently. Yeah, there must be something going around or something. I know for me, the reason why I feel unwell is because I have labyrinthitis or whatever it's called, labyrinthitis. Infection, basically infection in your the ear labyrinth. It's like the inner part of your ear. I've still got that. It's not as bad as it was when I first had it, but I definitely have it. But now my brother's sick. My mum might be sick as well now. I've also come down with a cold, including with this now. So, you know, it's great. I'm loving this. It's the Moon Man. Oh, you're here now, Mr. Garadev. Right belly business it is for me, you know. Getting out and about. Were you at the Old Bailey by any chance? Naturally, I fade out my lodgings, hanging in the balance and all that. Not a trial to miss. The fate of what's already been dubbed your haunted lodgings, yes. Of course, the place has caused quite a stir around the capital on more than one occasion already. As the old haunted lodgings or some such. Ah, well, at least he knows. Makes you wonder what the blazes is going on, don't you know? Yes, I'm sure it does. Oh, what are you doing here? In fact, thinking back to Mr. Natsumi's other trial just 2 days ago... You were at the Old Bailey then as well, weren't you, testifying with your wife about what happened? I stopped off at the prison on the way home, in fact. Beastly business. I see. So, what brings you to the haunted abode today, Nate? You know, I just had a sudden thought with the canon here. Is this like a reference to, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? No, not Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Mary Poppins. Because there was a guy in that was also a war hero, or war veteran, who had a cannon. Can I just present it to you now? An ultimate gas meter, yes. A decent fireplace in here, of course, so no need for a gas stove. But there's nothing better than a gas lamp for reading in bed, eh? Actually, Mr. Natsumi mentioned that the gas supply to his room kept failing. Yes, that. I had the gas company look into it. But they couldn't find a thing wrong. The chap must be imagining things. I don't think he was imagining it. The poor man woke up unable to breathe. I think he was put down to the ghost at work or some such in the end. Place must be haunted. Why are you sweating so much? Mr. Garrydeb, could I show you this? It's been quite a couple of days, as you can imagine. I'm afraid I'm rather tired. I haven't really got the energy in the old eyeballs, to be honest with you. Some other time, then. I haven't heard of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang in a while. Yeah, it is an old film. I think the last time I watched it properly was when I was in school. Gonna show you this, blah, blah, blah. Mr. Garrydeb, could I ask you to look at this photograph? Is that your son who's with you there? No, not at all. He was a lodger here once. Duncan Ross was his name. Duncan Ross? Why is that such the most normal sounding name you could have? And I'm surprised because it's this game. A street photographer happened to be passing by, so I asked him to take a shot. Just for kicks, really. Was he by chance the lodger before Mr. Natsume? Yes, that's right. Ah, the young gentleman who died in the room in the mysterious circumstances. Just what Mr. Mustache was waiting for, one might say. Yes, young Duncan lived in the room at the top of the flight of stairs before the Japanese chap came. Would you mind telling us a little more about him? Woo! Some fishy fellow from the Far East and a failed actor of cheap chap of questionable character, eh? Oh god, 1 second. Oh, that wasn't a good one. Oh god. Oh, I had a sudden bout of vertigo there. Yeah, I think I still need to get medication or whatever. Because this sucks. Sorry I keep going on about it, but it keeps coming up. Yes, the house does seem to have become something of a magnet for rough fellows of late. Thanks to that bally curse. The convict's curse, you mean? Heard the stories, have you? A rotten scoundrel was arrested here, then the next chap in the room goes and keels over. Almost done, just this and another hospital to visit for the bottle. Got it. And then there was that woman who dropped dead just outside yesterday, not to mention the actor yesterday. Oh, it's 2 yesterdays. Wrong thing. Am I next, eh? Well, can't help but get the collywobs. Or collywobbles, can you? And when you say the woman who dropped dead outside on the street, do you mean Miss Green? Because Miss Green, who was stabbed by the knife, and Mr. Shansbury, who was poisoned last night, are both very much alive still. Oh, yes, well, so is that blasted convict's curse, it seems. Personally, I should be quite content with such lodgings. A bath, a toilet, a fireplace, a fascinating history. Why? It sounds like the lap of luxury. I'm not so sure about that. Well, there's no bath or toilet included, and no fireplace either. But you do look out for your tenants, don't you? By watching the rise and fall of the flames in your gas lamps here? Well, yes, never hurts to keep an eye on things. In case there are any mishaps or some such. I think you've had your mishaps already, sir! That's not helpful, Mr. Sholmes. Heaven forgive me, the words just came onto my lips. Some fishy fellow from the Far East and a failed actor of... Wait. There's no need for that, Mr. Garrydeb. That's right, Mr. Natsume is in no way fishy. He is undeniably peculiar, however. Is it right that he took the vacancy immediately after the previous tenant passed away? Yes, that's right. I asked the estate agent to find someone who would... and he popped up the very same day. Never came across a chap so keen for a place with, a background, as it were. I don't think it was the room's background he was keen on, so much as the cheap rent, actually. So, how long has Mr. Shamspeare been lodging under the roof? Or your roof?
That failed actor chap. Let me see. Oh, of course. Yes, it's been about 3 months now. Quite sure of it.
Only 3 months? He's quite new here too, then.
And to what do we owe your certainty in that regard, Mr. Garrideb, if I may ask?
The Minish Cap. I haven't played that, but yeah. Got annoyed when it got added to the Switch Online right after I bought it for the Wii U. You still have a Wii U? Wow. Cool, alright.
Well, it was that Selden scoundrel, as it happens.
Selden? The convict, you mean? Do Selden and Shamspeare have some kind of connection, then? They both have S's in their names. They both have E's. And that's about it. I read that as Shamspeare's legacy.
And that convict chap Selden passed away in a clink 3 months ago now, you see. Some milady or another.
Wait, is it going to be that Shamspeare is that Seledi, whatever his name was? And he faked his death just like he did now? Yes, we've seen the reports in the newspaper at the time.
Well, it's only 3 days later that the tragedy showed his face, that actor fellow.
Really? Yeah, I know it's an older game from 2005. I've seen it.
Yes, I remember quite distinctly.
'Tis small, this world we inhabit. Prithee, landlord, hear my request. I, the humble Shamspeare, do desire to take thy room on the middle floor offered erewhile for rent.
Oh, terribly sorry or whatnot, but that would be possible. Already have a lodger on the middle floor. Ground floor's room's vacant, though.
And nothing can be made out of nothing. Let me repeat mine at will unto thee.
Those calls must be muffling your ears. The room on the middle floor's taken. It's ground floor or nothing.
Very well, we'll have an accord. He must have something still in that room that he wants to get.
Glad to hear it. Welcome to Briar Road.
Lo, a Shamspeare dance to celebrate. No, gee wee. Wow. Congratulations on your Wii. The Wii name was such a stupid thing.
From what I heard in court today, sounds like the chap was thieving gas. And he was 3 months in arrears with the rent too. Yes, the fellow was a bally player, all right.
Thank you for your candor, Mr. Garrideb. We are most grateful. And by the way of appreciation, allow me to say 1 or 2 words.
Give me my robe, put on my crown.
I have immortal longings in me. What is he doing? What's happened to you?
Shakespeare, my dear fellow, one of his most famous lines. I wish to divulge my own learning of the subject, for I have a turn for literature too, you know.
Perhaps you could turn your attention to more apt lines then? You want to feel old, Shepherd? I mean, I kind of do already. But okay.
The PS1 came out 30 years ago. Yes, Duncan Ross. Fine chap, was attending art school, had to work to pay for it, mind. Moved in the middle floor room about a year ago, after that criminal Selden was arrested. Young students are always on the hunt for rooms with a history behind them.
A history of cheap rent, maybe, yes.
Yes, well, anyway, it was one morning about a month ago now. Hadn't quite worked out the old trick of watching the gas lamps to see what my lodgers are up to at the time. So sadly, I'd rather tardy to discover what would happen. Smell of gas that alerted me it was.
Ah, yes, synonymous with the smell of death.
Called the police straight away, of course, and the officer kicked the door off its hinges. But once we got inside, we all bally collapsed.
Because of the gas?
Yes, room was full of it. No air at all. Stove must have gone out when the poor chap was sleeping in his bed.
So Mr. Ross suffocated to death.
Of course, the police give me a sound ticket up because the gas pipes are so old and all that. But can't tell you how much it sent me back to have the lot replaced all over the house.
But even after you had all that work done, Mr. Natsumi says the same thing. But the stove goes out at night when he's asleep in bed.
Well, that's a belly curse. The convict's curse. I've done my duty as a landlord now.
Someone's feeling defensive.
That reminds me, actually.
Yes?
About young Duncan. The night before the poor chap perished, he'd been writing a letter of affection to a young lady.
A love letter, you mean?
Yes, where did I put it now? Here it is, left on my desk.
If you'll excuse me. Let me see now. What does it say?
To my most beautiful and charming sweetheart.
Do you think we should be reading such a personal piece of correspondence?
My dear Susato, this is precisely why I preface my reading with, if you'll excuse me.
I will not excuse you, Mr. Sholmes, no. That's too bad.
Sadly, he didn't address it, though. So I've no means of delivering the thing. Rather sad, really.
I see. That's going to be play on my mind. But really, the identity of Mr. Ross's sweetheart has no bearing on the case. I think we should leave well alone. Yeah, I suppose you're right.
Indeed, the intended recipient's address is missing. However,
there is a name attributed to the man's most beautiful and charming sweetheart. Mr. Sholmes, please, I've already had to chastise you about this once.
My undying love to you, my colourful darling, Olive Green.
Olive Green? The woman who was plunged into a coma after a knife plunged into her back outside the cafe house days ago? The victim of the last case Saseki-san was in court for, who regained consciousness only yesterday. Is it just chance that her name was come up now? Could it possibly be a coincidence? Could I ask any more questions? Mr. Naruhodo, whatever can this mean?
Reading personal correspondence can have its merits, you see, Mr. Zato.
Well, time to go speak to Olive Green. Unless there's anything else? Nope. I can't... Oh, no, I can. I was about to say I can't move to the right, but I can. Right, back to the green hospital bed. She's gone. No. Oh, is it going to be that Miss Green tried to attempted to kill Shake Shamspear? Shake Shamspear. Mr. Naruhodo, I've finished speaking with the doctor. It seems Miss Green is well enough to be discharged at last. This is good news, but hopefully just before she leaves... what is it? Miss Green! What was that? She clearly just hit something behind her back. One moment, I'll be with you in a jiffy. Oh, hello everyone. What are you doing here? The doctor has said to be discharged, so I'm just getting my things together. Miss Green, what were you just doing? Oh, nothing, really. I was just about to take some medicine the doctor prescribed me, that's all. Well, we were hoping to have another quick chat with you. If yes, that's all right. I don't really have anything else to tell you. All right, she's definitely behaving strangely. Let's see if we can coax something out of her. God! Thanks for the follow. Oh, your name's Francisco von Karma. Thank you. Thank you for the follow. Left your whip at home. Oh, no.
Before anything, examine the bottle.
This is the bottle that Miss Green was just about to drink from when we arrived. Yes, she looked rather preoccupied, didn't she? Perhaps it's very bitter?
I can't stand bitter medicine.
I suppose that could be it. In fact, whenever a doctor prescribes me medicine for a number of days, I always take it all at once.
Oh, no?
Well, if you have to take something you don't like, it's better to get it all out of the way in one go, isn't it?
No! No! Do not do that! Do not take all of your medication in one go. You could die.
Oh dear, and I thought it was Miss Green I should be worrying about at the moment. This is the card that Miss Green was looking at so intently before, isn't it? Mr. Naruhodo, we shouldn't be peeking at young women's private effects. Right, I should say peeking for gentlemen's effects only. You mustn't do that either. And maybe you, Mr. Zado, shouldn't be peeking into a young man's mind either, hmm? It's like she just knows. It's wonderful news that you're going to be discharged, Miss Green. Oh, yes, I mean, thank you. Once people are better, the hospital staff don't want them lingering and wasting space. Not people like me, anyway. So, I don't think I should keep anyone waiting. I probably shouldn't stand around to chat. She certainly doesn't seem to be in the mood to talk. That's for sure.
Well, time to present you with something.
What do you think about this picture? Miss Green, we were hoping to ask you about someone. Mr. Duncan Ross. You knew him, didn't you? Oh, she's dead.
It's pink!
Oh no, I'm so sorry. The bottle of medicine fell down when she did. Oh, Miss Green, are you all right? No, she's dead. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to startle you like that. No, it's all right. I just wasn't expecting it. But how do you know about Duncan? Mr. Ross had been writing a letter when he passed away. The landlord found it in his room. It was a very personal letter to you. It was at the art school. That's where I met Duncan, a year ago now. He was working to fund his studies. He dreamt of becoming a professional artist one day. And the two of you became romantically involved? Yes, that's right. We were very much in love. We were engaged to be married, actually.
Oh, wow.
And that's why he decided to move into a cheaper room to save money for the wedding. And that's what led him to Mr. Garadeb's. Yes, he told me before. Well, he told me to find the worst but cheapest room in the entire East End. And then, 1 month ago, that's when it happened. We're so terribly sorry, Mr. Green. Well, it's all in the past now, I suppose. Poor Miss Green. She looked so desperately sad. I was starting to think that just her look. But now I see that she has every reason to feel that our universe is against her. She lost her fiancé, got stabbed in the back. I do hope you don't think I'm being rude, but would you mind leaving me in peace now? I have to leave the hospital soon. Oh, I'm so sorry. We didn't mean to hold you up. Of course, we'll be on our way.
Mr. Naruhodo! Surely you're not about to leave. I can notice the dead rat back there. Surely you were not about to leave. That's quite out of the question. Mr. Sholmes, I didn't realize you were here. But of course I was, my dear fellow. Watching intently from the shadows as always.
Well, make your presence known next time. Mr. Sholmes, what's this about?
Something which occurs to me with some irregularity, Mr. Zado, is this. Why do detectives insist on such an ex post facto modus operandi? Why solve a case after it's happened, instead of preventing a case before it happens? That is what sets a great detective apart. What do you mean? There is a case waiting to happen under our very noses, Mr. Naruhodo. So let us avert a disaster. Let us prevent the case from ever happening. With nothing but careful observation. Alright. All the clues you need are set before you. You need only look and you cannot fail to see. You can do it, Mr. Naruhodo. No, you can. I wonder what it could be. I think it's her. She's sweating. Or maybe it's the statue. It came alive. Mr. Duncan Ross. Who would ever have thought he was engaged to be married to Miss Green? To lose one's beloved fiancé must be painful enough. But then Mrs. Green, or Miss Green, suffered the awful injury, and outside her fiancé's former lodgings too. Fate can be very cruel sometimes. The bucket did it! That mouse seems to be dead. It's a rat. Look, I didn't notice it before. Did you? I think perhaps it drank the medicine that spilled out the bottle. But that's the bottle that Miss Green was about to drink from when we arrived. You don't think... Ah, I see you've come to appreciate the true nature of this scene. That of a tragedy was about to take place. Yes, I think it's falling into place. Miss Green, the contents of the bottle you had before has spilt out on the floor, and the poor mouse that drank it has sadly died. I think it's clear the bottle must have contained a powerful poison. Too small? It's bigger than a mouse. What kind of mouse have you seen that are that big? It might have been a baby rat. Don't worry, I'll attend to the mouse permanently. Presently, not permanently. Like cocks a gun. It's already dead, Susanna. What are you doing? Making it disappear. Bang, bang, bang. Miss Green, were you intending to go the same way as that rodent? To take your own life? Once we'd left, you would have put it to your lips again, wouldn't you? And taken the poison. No! Miss Green, please, talk to us. Florida mice. Tell us everything. "10 seconds later, we would have arrived at a very different scene here. In all probability, we would not have enjoyed this most delightful conversation. Of course, perhaps it hasn't been quite so delightful from your perspective, Miss Green. Actually, it's in a way. And now that everything's out in the open, I feel like a weight has been lifted. Tell me, how did you acquire that medicine?" "I got it from that Shake Shammy Shim Sham spear." "Well, with this being a hospital and all, when the doctor comes to examine me in the mornings, he always leaves the medicine cabinet open for a while, so I snuck this out when he wasn't looking." Kitchen gun. Yeah. Beyblade. Well, I remember Beyblade. I don't know what you mean by metal fight. I think I still have my Beyblade somewhere. Well, I had two, but one of them was one that I took apart and then I never managed to put back together. It conspicuously lacks a label. I wonder what it contains. I'm afraid I don't really know. But I thought if I drank it, it might just stop the pain somehow. Oh, please, Miss Green, don't talk of such things. Well, it seems clear now that it contains poison. Yes, that poor little mouse is proof of that. Oh no. Oh, it's all my fault. What have I done? Are they trying to say that she wasn't doing it intentionally? She thought it was just medicine that she could take to stop pain? Or is that just, she's trying to hide the fact that she was going to do that and it wasn't going to kill her? "I shall remove this to my office. Miss Green, I'll take it as you have no objections."
No, none. By the way, let me show you your dead husband again. Let's leave her be. Or maybe we're supposed to look at the bottle again. I can't believe she was going to take that poison. Mr. Sholmes, your keen observational skills have saved Miss Green's life. To become a truly great detective is one must solve cases before they have occurred. Oh, what a delightful idea. The plastic generation? I mean, the one I had metal in it. Like, it was like, they were literally dangerous. They were dangerous to use because of that. Indeed, and why not from time to time? Why not all the time? Then London would be entirely out of crime. Why are you rhyming? And I would be entirely without an income. Everything in moderation, my dear fellow. Did you say something, Mr. Sholmes? Yes, the truth. But when it comes to Mr. Sholmes, you do tend to turn a deaf ear to it sometimes, son. Can I read the letter now? It definitely feels as though the card must be relevant. I mean, when we first arrived, Miss Green was standing with it in her hand in what can only be described as a very tense atmosphere. Yes, it may very well be related to whatever incident Mr. Sholmes believed was about to happen. The metal parts were like the metal, I guess you would call them discs, yeah. The thing that you would take apart, the outside of it was like sort of plastic, and then you had this big metal ring that you would put on the inside, and you put like the top back on to give it weight and like spin momentum. Perhaps we should ask Mr. Green about it. Or we could just read it. Why didn't this update when I was... whatever. Neither the sender's name or address appear to be written on the envelope in the card. This is the other part of that envelope letter. It arrived by post at my home the day before the incident that put me in hospital here. The plastic generation did add metal weight discs. Okay. So I guess I was in the plastic generation. I'm sorry. I didn't know that they actually made them out of complete metal at one point. It arrived by post at my home the day before the incident, but put me in the hospital here. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Bar Road at 5 p.m. on 17th. Don't tell anybody else about what this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of the utmost importance. And that was why she was on the road, walking away. She was either on her way or something else. On her way back. Wait a minute. The 17th of this month? That's the day you were stabbed on Briar Road. And 5 p.m. is precisely the time when the incident occurred. You got me thinking of the song now. I can't see it because it's probably copyrighted, but you know. That's the only part I can do. The Slug and Salad? Yes. A pub on the northern corner of Briar Road. Briar Road. Being the street that Mr. Gary Deb's house is on. But does this mean that... Yes, I'm sure you've guessed. That day when I was stuck in the back with the knife, I was actually on my way to the Slug and Salad. What a bad name for a restaurant. Or a pub. Goodness. So that's what you were doing on Briar Road that day. The plastic generation was the best one. It was the only one I cared to watch. The other ones were too over the top and stupid. They had cat people in the original. That was the only reason why I liked it. No, it wasn't. It was also because they had, you know, a dragon. And dragons are cool. So that's what you're doing on Briar Road that day. I'm sorry I didn't say anything before. I think I really will have to ask you to excuse me now. I've told you everything. Yes, I'm very sorry to have dragged up such painful memories for you. No, it's fine. Miss Green. Please, promise us you won't try to do anything like that again. Yes, don't worry. Your detective friend has the bottle now anyway. And besides, I have other ways. I've been stabbed in the back and had a close shave with a bottle of poison, and I'm still here. I think I'm destined to see things through to the end. It might sound a little conceited, but, well, that's how all this has made me feel. To be continued? Leaving Miss Green and Miss St. Bartholomew's behind, we made our way back to Baker Street with Mr. Sholmes. It's snowing, and it's nighttime. This is new. Well, it would appear we've reached the end of the investigative trial for today. Yes, it's late. And, Mr. Naruhodo, did you discover anything that may be of use to you in court tomorrow, do you think? Details about Mr. Shamspeare, Mr. Garrideb's lodgings, the convict Selden. There are many facets of this case, and we've yet to see the heart of it, if you ask me. That's my feeling, anyway. I can't help wondering about the results of the analysis. Into Mr. Natsume's tea, you mean? Yes. Will they have found strychnine or not? Well, I fear that either way, it will be hard to escape the grip of our friend, Mr. Reaper. I really appreciate that my current, nausea is kind of subsided for the moment. This is letting me finish this off. Oh, dear. Yes, Barak Van Zieks. But I wish you every success, of course, and though I was late to rise this morning, tomorrow will be a new dawn. I intend to spring from my bed at a crisp hour and attend a trial. Mr. Sholmes, you're going to come? Indeed, whatever happens, I shall be there, assuming my eyelids cooperate in the morning. Well, I think we've done all we can. All that's left is to remain focused and keep fighting for Mr. Natsume's cause until the very end. Yeah! London, the world's most prosperous city, home to some 6 million people. Not anymore, it's like 1 billion at the moment, I think. I'd have to look it up for the specifics. But away from the razzle-dazzle down back alleyways and behind bricked-up windows, the lonely lurk. Suzeki-san had battled long and hard with loneliness during his many months here, and so I felt honor-bound to battle equally hard for my compatriot, to lift the curse that gripped him. As Mr. Sholmes said, tomorrow would be a great new dawn for all of us. And to be continued. Oh, yeah. I just had a thought. I wonder if Gina's going to come up again, but probably not in this case. Maybe in the next case she shows up again. And she's like all smartly dressed. She somehow turned around so fast. Save the game. Trial part 2. (23rd of February, 9:23 a.m. The Old Bailey, defendant, antechamber, whatever. But that is where we will stop for today. So, good job, everyone. Thank you all for joining. Let me just see how long it was. Oh, exactly 2 hours. Perfect. So, yeah. This is great. We shall be back with this on Thursday, I hope. If I still feel off by then, I will probably take Thursday off as well. If tomorrow I feel about the same or worse, I will probably not stream at all. And if I feel the same on Thursday, I will stream not that day either. Unfortunately, I wish I could. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy playing this game. I'm also enjoying playing Death Stranding. But this, it was hard to stream today. Okay, that's pretty much the end of it. But yeah, we shall see if we can pick this up on either on Thursday or next week. We shall find out. But regardless, I hope everyone enjoyed today, regardless of how it was. Thank you all for joining. As usual, if you haven't already, like, follow, subscribe, bell notifications, all of that stuff. It does help because, you know, it pushes me in the algorithm in the YouTube and whatever on Twitch. And yeah, if you want to support me directly, link to Patreon and tips. And if you do become a patron, you get name entered to the patron list here, where I give you a shout out of every stream, like I do with Hiru Kuni, the Soulmaster 37, and Raffatron 2000. I thank you for the continued support. I greatly appreciate you all, and we try to find out what really happened that day, and we found out what really happened that day. Seeing the Irish kitchen, yeah, I saw that. Raffatron, I saw the kitchen gun video. It was good. It was funny. I mean, the original's funny anyway, but yeah. But until next time, y'all take care. Have a nice rest of the day. I'll see you either tomorrow, Thursday, or next week, depending. And until then, I'll have a good one. Take care, everyone. Bye, Raffatron. Bye, Balaroth. Bye, Francisco von Kalmar, if you're still here. And Swordmaster, if you're still